Hey, Wildcat fans. This is Jeremiah Larson for another episode of Weber State Volleyball In Depth, where you get to see and hear about the in-depth conversations we have inside of our program, which makes us a little bit different, maybe even a little bit special. I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
Today we have a pretty cool panel. We like them a lot. Well, most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time. So I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to introduce himself. Marley, why don't you start with introducing who you are?
Hey guys, I'm Marley.
What's your last name?
Oh, Marley Pratt. I am a sophomore here and I play libero. And if you saw my face already on here, you probably did, but it wasn't me. So.
There's a girl running around with your face.
Yeah, I have someone that just has my same face.
That's right, in this program.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
So it's kind of fun.
Hi, Wildcat fam. I'm Kaylie Ray. I'm a grad outside hitter, transferred from Utah State, from Arizona.
Oh.
That's me.
Nice.
Your turn, Saane.
Okay. I'm Saane and Miah. I'm a senior here. I'm a middle blocker from Bountiful, Utah. And that's all I have.
She'll always be Saane Katoa.
Yeah.
To me.
Shout out.
To me. She's always
Shout out
SK.
to maiden name.
SK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, today, our topic today that we're going to have with these ladies is something that we do inside of our program that's just a little bit different. It's about having a learner mindset versus a performer mindset. And so we're just going to have this conversation and talk with you guys. And you guys have a lot of experience with this topic, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do.
So let's just start right from the beginning. Like, most people, when they hear learner versus performer mindset, that's a new concept, yes?
Yeah.
And it's new when we introduce it to you. But really, most people have a foundation with this mindset because it's done by another name. So most people what we call learner mindset, most people call growth mindset. What most people call what we call performer mindset, most people call fixed mindset, yeah? Mm-hmm. And so we all have a little bit of a foundation. I mean, you tell me about before you came to Weber State, did you have an understanding about a growth and fixed mindset?
Yeah, for sure. I've heard a lot of people say, like, have a growth mindset. You don't want to have a fixed mindset. But I think learner versus performer kind of made it real for me. Like, oh, this is what it looks like. You don't just say, like,
Good.
I don't know, have a growth mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of put it into, like, what this actually looks like in the gym.
Yeah. Kaylie, what about you? What's your history before you got here with growth, with maybe just a growth mindset? Let's just pick on that one.
Yeah. Well, a growth mindset, when the foundation I have, I'm a psychology major. And I had to read a lot of books growing up. So this is a concept that comes from Carol Dweck.
Yeah.
And it was always, when I heard this mindset, it was always in terms of the classroom. And it was like, if you believe that you can get better at something, then that's a growth mindset. So it's like, instead of fixating on this is as good as I'll ever be, or this is like the level of intelligence that I'll reach, with the growth mindset, there's a belief that you can always change and improve over time. And it's having patience and ability to do that over time.
And you said, like, the way you understood it was more in the classroom setting. So did you not apply this mindset much before in the volleyball world?
Correct. Like,
Really?
It's definitely something that's talked about. Like, people will say, the big thing for me growing up was, okay, if I said I can't do something, I always had to say yet at the end. I can't do this yet. And that was pretty much the only application I had of a growth mindset,
Nice.
Which probably is not the best way.
Sure.
It's a start. It's a start.
Right. But in terms of volleyball, like, it was not something that was really taught or applied. Yeah.
How about, I mean, did you know much about this concept before you got here?
Not really.
Not really.
Like, I had never heard it phrased as learner versus performer.
But did you have a concept of a growth and a fixed mindset?
Yeah, I mean, coaches will always throw that at you, like, kind of what Marley was saying, like, have a growth mindset and you'll get better, but, like, never an application of how to apply it. You kind of it's just a word that floats around that you're supposed to.
So did you even know what a growth mindset was? Or is it, like, did you know the definition? Do you know, like, because you got a pretty detailed thing, even though it's just you had more of a focus in the classroom, right?
Not really.
Like, just grow. Like,
Yeah, like,
have a growth mindset, dummy.
Yeah, just try to grow, I guess.
Is that the same? Like, was there classroom versus volleyball?
Not really for me, but I agree with what she was saying. It's just like, if you think that you can get better or you think that you can grow, like you can, but if you think you're just stuck here, then you're going to be stuck, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like my experience, like my playing experience was, and growing up was completely different than yours. Like I grew up in a world where I was incredibly growth mindset in the gym. Like maybe just because I was just the smallest guy in the world, right? So I was like,
you had no choice.
I'm just like, please let me grow kind of stuff. I had no choice. But like in the gym, I was incredibly growth mindset. But once I wandered into the classroom, like I was either good at math or I wasn't good at math.
Right.
I was good at biology or I wasn't good at biology.
I was the same way.
Yeah, if I got a C in a class, I'm just not good at it. So I'm just not going to take that class ever again. But like in the gym, it was like, okay, how can I get better at my craft? You know what I'm saying? And so like, but you're saying for you, it was different.
Yeah, well, but your exact example though, like with like being good at something or not, like we ascribe like failure or success, like, okay, you get an F on a test. What do you assume about yourself? That you have the ability to grow or that you suck?
Right.
Like you're gonna say like, oh, I suck at this. So definitely I saw that in the classroom. For me, like growing up, I've always been like, I'm so good at school. I'm good in the classroom. I'm a straight A student. Like, and that's very much a part of me.
And that was your identity to be like that. Yeah.
Yes. And so anytime I had a class that like really challenged me, I was like, am I not good enough? You start like attributing all these other things instead of having a growth mindset, which is like, I have the ability to increase my capacity to do things, anything, like practicing math or, the growth mindset to me is like, I have the ability to expand more than what I am right now.
Good. So let's dive into what she was kind of saying right there. Like when we have a fixed mindset, the emotional reactions we have to getting the F or getting the C, right? Like, what kind of emotional reactions do you have when you start realizing that you're in that fixed mindset?
Yeah. They're never good. It's always like self-doubt, negative self-talk, like, oh, maybe you just can't do this. Like, maybe you're just not good at it, like, it's never like, oh, maybe I can get better at it. It's never good.
And is that just across the spectrum in your life, Marley? Or is that more like, do you find it more in certain situations?
I think I'm very much like she was saying at school, like I've always got good grades. So when like right now, I'm struggling in a class, well, what I think is struggling, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just not good at chemistry. Like, maybe it's just not for me. So I think more
so I need to reevaluate my major. Is that what you're like?
Yeah.
So we got to change your major.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
But I'm like, no, I can. Now I'm like, I can do it. But I think it's more in school for me, just because it's something that it's not been super hard for me. So then when it did become hard or like I did struggle, then I really have a fixed mindset about it.
But I mean, even in volleyball, right? Like, let's just pick on her for a little bit. Maybe you guys can support her in this. But like, when you first got here, like your identity was rocked, and there was some solid fixed mindset. Yeah,
for
why don't you speak about when you first got here? I mean, this is still technically your third semester. Yeah, third semester here, and you're still probably fighting some of this stuff.
For sure. I don't think in school I could see that fixed mindset in me. I don't think in volleyball I was aware of my growth or fixed mindset or even what was going on in my own brain. Like, I just think I was so self-unaware of what was happening. And when I first got here, like, I think part of fixed mindset is like not taking feedback very well and like.
So let's talk about that. You were defensive.
Yeah, defensive. Because I didn't want to admit that I was struggling. I think like I didn't think it was okay. Like I thought I should have it together. I thought I should my expectations for where I should be was probably way far off. Not probably, it was way far off than what reality was. And so that made it really hard for me to have a growth mindset because what I thought should be was not at all where reality was.
So that's how, when you got in this gym, like defensiveness came into play, self-doubt, uncertainty.
Yep.
Yeah. How about you when you first, like you're now a seasoned veteran. Yes.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to like get after you quite so much about your self-talk, but like, can you relate to that when you first came here?
I was a wreck. As a freshman, you always come in thinking like you want to prove yourself, you
Yeah.
know, like show what you can do and be an asset to the team. And even mentally you try to do that and like seem like this solid, strong, 17-year-old
Yeah.
try to make it believable.
And she graduated early.
Yeah, literally.
So you were 6 months along the
Yes,
road.
I was like older than you and still couldn't help it. But yeah, I think that was a very humbling
Very
experience
humbling.
to truly take in being vulnerable and like applying it and just admitting that, wow, I kind of suck right now
Yeah.
and that's okay. I'm not supposed to be like this rock star kid yet, even though you want to be and you have those motivations and desires, which is great.
Yeah.
But you have to come back to reality and like work your way up like everyone else does.
And
to
I
compete.
think like when you're in that mindset of defensive-ness and like fixed mindset, like you like, oh, I want to get better, I want to grow, but you just don't. Like you
Yeah.
can't grow in that mindset because you're not like not aware of what's going on in your brain. You don't accept feedback well. Like
Yeah.
you can say, oh, I want to get better, but it's like you can't if you're not willing to learn and be open to your reality and asking for help and things like that. Like,
Yeah, and I just want to say, I don't think it changes whether you're a freshman or a grad, such as myself. Like at any point in your life, when you have expectations, desires, wants, beliefs, and they're maybe not grounded in reality or where you feel like you should be, there's always going to be that discomfort, that conflict that goes on. And so I really like what you said. I agree with that.
You said something interesting that I thought was really good. Like, would you say like being vulnerable was a big deal in you being able to switch your fixed mindset to some form of growth mindset? I mean, you said it took vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
was that hard? Like,
yes,
was
it
that
was
something?
very hard. Like everyone thinks they're vulnerable and thinks that they're open until they're put into a crap situation where you have to recognize
When adversity kind of
where
hits you in
you're
the teeth.
maybe less than, and like how vulnerable are you really in
Yeah.
that moment to like ask for help. So I think it starts with vulnerability with yourself, like just admitting,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not where I want to be right now, and the world doesn't blow up by just admitting that. Like you
Sure.
can admit that, and then you can ask for help.
That's so hard, right? Like,
So hard.
like so much of our
so hard.
like we have a previous installment where we're talking about identities, right? And so much of these emotional reactions that happen are formulated because we feel like our identity is being attacked, right?
Mhm.
And being vulnerable allows you to let that identity be real,
Yeah.
right? Instead of being like, this is who I am, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
Now I'm vulnerable. I'm going to allow people to see who I truly am. And sometimes the identity is that I am strong.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm strong, I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need you. And I don't need you. The only person I need is me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Would you say that that's one reason why sometimes we're not vulnerable?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I will say that I've had separate conversations with both of these girls here. And it's like exactly like you said, like it feels like an attack on your identity. And especially for us competing at such a high level, like overachieving is a natural part of all of our identities as athletes. And so it's like I can admit to myself when I'm struggling, but it is so hard for me to admit to other people that I'm struggling because I don't want to potentially let them down.
Yeah.
But in putting up those walls, I let them down anyways because now I'm not letting them in to help me. And now we can't grow together. We can't grow as a group when you have those walls up. And so I will say, especially this semester, for sure that's something that I've struggled with.
It's been a challenge for you, I think. Like you and I have had some conversations.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's
Yes,
been so cool.
Definitely.
For me, it's been cool. For you, it's been hell. But for me,
Well,
it's been cool.
She's like,
I've always walked away from those conversations though, like feeling like I have so much clarity. So even though it's been, I would call it extreme discomfort.
Yes.
I
so not hell.
You know,
Semantics.
you pick your battles, but it's definitely uncomfortable to like admit that you are not where you want to be. And it's uncomfortable to admit that you're not the player you expected to be or the performer you want to be. And that's where, like, when we let our identity get tied up in those things, it can be really difficult. So, like, I give these girls, like, so much credit, like, for seeing that in me and seeing that struggle in me and coming to me and, like, wanting to break down those walls and like wanting to ask, like, how are you actually doing? Like, what's really going on here? And
That's cool. But it's cool that you allowed those doors to be open and
Yeah.
people to walk through them. Like, it's easy for people to say, I'm good.
yes,
Yeah.
it definitely is. But like, you know, I'm struggling. I know I'm struggling. And I feel like if I'm at the place where like you have to call me out on it, like, and we can both level with each other, like, that's the kind of culture that every team should strive to have. And it's definitely made, I would say, like, for us on the court in practice and in our last scrimmage, like the things that we had a conversation about, we've implemented. And it's been so much better since then.
How empowering is that, right? Like,
like the day after we talked about it, it's already becoming better. You know what I'm saying?
super cool.
And I think kind of going back to the like learner versus performer, growth or fixed mindset, like I think like we were saying, we think we're strong, and we don't want or need help, but like I think it's important, and I actually have come to this realization being here, like you need other people to grow. Like you can't grow by yourself. Like I've had lots of conversations where my coaches have made me open up when it's uncomfortable and I don't like it, but like without that, there's no way I could grow. Like, and with my teammates, conversations with them, like you can't grow alone. We have to learn and grow together.
Yeah, I mean, we say this all the time, and maybe I'm stealing your guys' thunder, but like, true strength is to be vulnerable. True strength is to ask for help. Like I think sometimes we get this stigma, if I'm strong, I don't need help. But in reality, the strong people are the people that know when they need help. And then they rely on other people to be able to grow. And I love what you guys just said. And that's so cool for sharing that, because that's not easy to be able to open up like that. And so thanks for doing that. So before I love that conversation. I want to like shift it to this learner versus performer mindset, which we talk about. It's not like something that's documented, right? It's just, this is the way we talk about this. How does that mindset change with those words? Instead of a fixed mindset, we change it to a performer mindset, right? And then instead of a growth mindset, we talk about having a learner mindset, right? And maybe let's just, I don't know if you guys just want to hit them all together, but like we can just start with one. Like, how does having a performer mindset and a fixed mindset, how does that change in your minds just a little bit?
I think it kind of applies it to the game, like kind of sets your mind into the game of what your brain is thinking about and how you're taking successes and failures. Like,
and why would a performer mindset be a bad thing while you're performing your sport?
You just get caught up in the outcomes, like kills, aces, 3-point passes, like, and when you get caught up in that and maybe you don't get the next 3-point pass or you don't get a kill, like, what's going on in your head? Are the wheels turning, or can you just go with the flow of the game and learn from it?
Something that we talked about was that, especially in the sport of volleyball, there are so many variables that influence an outcome. And if you're so set on an outcome, you have maybe 10, 15% control of that outcome. So when you find yourself only like this specific outcome is going to make me this way, or if I get this kill, then I'll be great. Or if I make this amazing play, then I'm the player that I want to be. But when there's so many things out of our control, like that can become such a negative cycle and a negative loop of like constantly being disappointed because your expectations were in a different place. So when you're wrapped up in the performance, you lose so much of what's like actually happening. Like you forget to play the game sometimes because you're only focused on an outcome.
Good. I love what you two just said. Like, I think sometimes we teach this a lot, process over outcome, right? And so like when we're performance based, we assign our performance and that makes us who we are, right? Like I am this. And when it doesn't go right, then automatically what happens?
Identity crisis.
We have identity crises in the middle of practice because you had one bad swing or you had one bad pass, right? Like, oh crap. Or maybe you had 2 bad passes and now I'm not this performer that I thought I was. Has that happened to you, Mar?
Oh, for sure. And I had a talk at the end of preseason with you guys, like, who are you? And I was like, oh, who am I? I listed off some things and they're like, no. Like I listed off probably 4 things. They're like, those are all things you do. And I'm like, oh, like, who is Marley? Like, she doesn't even know.
Yeah,
Like,
she doesn't even exist in my head right now.
And so, like, my performance, when I was so performance-based, it was, like, so tied to my outcome that because I was not performing well, my identity, because I was not performing well, my identity, like, I thought I was the worst person in the world. You know what I'm saying? When it's so completely different. And because of that, I was not getting better and learning through, like, I was not learning from the things that were happening to me. I was just in this constant cycle, like she was saying, of just like, oh, it's just getting worse. Like, it keeps going downhill. Nothing I can do about it, you know?
Yeah.
Just who I am at this point. Like,
And now you have a horrible day of practice, and
one pass turns into the worst day ever.
That's right. And the clouds are raining, and
the sky is
falling.
The universe is ending.
Yeah, that's right. And Maya's going to cut you.
Yeah.
That's where we end up going.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
for sure.
In reality, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's just a day.
And it's so funny just because the difference between that and like, oh, it's just maybe a rough practice or, you know, like a bad pass and I can bounce back is truly just where your focus is.
Oh, that's so true.
So true.
Yeah. And it's so, is it easier to slip in the performer mindset or the learner mindset? Which one is easier?
Performer.
Yeah.
Like as an athlete.
Why is that, do you think?
I mean, the game is to perform. You want to win. In order to win, you have to perform, and
Everyone's
you
a
get caught in
competitor.
that 1, 2, 3. I have to do this in order to get this. But there's so many mini steps that affect getting to performance. So that we don't really talk about.
Yeah.
In the world of sports.
Yeah. I think there's a ton of pressure. If you win a championship, that must mean you're pretty good. Or if you play at this school, that means you're better than this school. Or and it just doesn't work that way.
And it starts from like a young age too. Like my little sister plays club volleyball right now. And to watch her kind of go through the things I went through, when I was 14 years old, I had like an identity crisis of identity crises. And I was
14?
At 14.
I know. I was a setter at the time.
I'm having them at 47. So
So they never stop.
I was a setter at the time, and I was so like.
You were a setter.
Is that shocking to you? Because it's shocking to me too.
No way, man. I saw those golden things kicking out the other day.
Oh gosh. Straight doubles the whole time. But I was super, like, I had a perfectionist mindset. Like, if it wasn't the perfect set, then I was just not good enough. And I shouldn't be in this sport, and I shouldn't be playing this game. And it took so long for someone in my life to be like, what are you thinking about? What are you focused on? And we, you know, at that young age, like, it is all about performing and competing and doing well in your sport. And I think now it's kind of becoming a shift that more coaches, like, this is something that's important to them. But definitely at the time, I'm sure that we were going through club, like, I can't even remember a single club coach talking to me about mindset, like, in general.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's kind of like instilled at a young age as well. Like, any feedback you get, I don't know, an example could be like, you get blocked, your coach is screaming at you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was bad.
Because you get feedback based upon your performance,
I
not
get it.
about what you did.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, I get a kill. Good job. Like, it's kind of that
Yeah.
instillment of like, okay, like, this is good, this is bad. I'll feel good about this. I'll feel terrible about this.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of Pavlov's dogs. You're conditioned
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
have these negative emotional reactions to any type of feedback because in years past it's generally based
It's like
upon
all
an error.
outcomes.
Right.
Oh, it's a really good way to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just bleeds fixed mindset.
Yes.
It bleeds
Even
the
in
performer
school, like,
But then they
Right.
tell
people
you
ask
have
you
a
about
growth
your
mindset.
grades.
Right.
And we can
Right.
see the problems, right? Like
Yeah.
for sure, coach. And I'm not trashing on any club coaches because
Yeah.
we have to do this too, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I think it's so easy to give feedback based upon bad performance because a coach wants to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to help you try to not make that bad performance begin. But in reality, like the delivery method might not be proper at that moment. Maybe they're instead of giving a steady trying to do this to miss a block, maybe it's something wrong with your approach,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just not seeing it, right? And so like there's so many variables that come into that performance,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's why coaching is so difficult. And,
It is.
and we are products of our environment,
Right.
yeah.
I will say that for my last few years of club ball, like, I had switched clubs and I felt like those coaches really poured into me. And I think that helped slightly prepare me for college and just the type of feedback you get there. It's not, you did this move wrong and now you're horrible and now you should go home and maybe go back to learning how to play chess or something, you know? But it is crazy how much, especially from a young age, that we just like learn to associate these things.
Yeah.
And that's why having a growth mindset, having a learner's mindset is so much harder to tap into because it requires conscious effort.
Yeah.
Like it's very easy to just be like good outcome, bad outcome, and my emotions will reflect that. Like choosing to be a learner is going to be miles more difficult because just of the nature of it.
Right. So let's talk about that then. So like how is a learner mindset like changed your view of that growth mindset? Like how is it different? Because we don't use growth mindset in our gym. We're like, are you a learner or are you a performer right now, right? Like, so how is that a little bit different?
For me, I would say you always at least feed test the fact that everything is just information. And once you see that, like whether you shanked a ball or got blocked or not, there's something to learn from that in that moment. And when you look at it like that, it takes the pressure off. Like, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that tells me something. The game is still going. I still have how many plays to implement what I want to do. And it doesn't feel like end of the world because you get blocked once.
Yeah.
And you can like continue instead of sink into your feelings and get into this like rabbit hole.
So it eliminates some of these feelings out of the situation.
Yeah, for me at least.
Yeah, for sure. I think along with pressure, it really takes away a lot of the negative, like, or what's you think is negative about something bad that is like, or you think is bad that you did. Like, it's just like, oh, I either do it or I didn't, and I can learn from it and move on and keep going, and it's not a bad thing. Like, this is all just a chance to learn and grow. I don't have to like freak out and think that I'm the worst and because I did one
We say that
thing.
sometimes, right? Like there are no good things, there are no bad things, they're just things.
Yeah. And I think that back to the emotions, like for me, that really helps me rationalize my brain. Like, oh, like it's not that deep. Like I just shank the ball. Like life, it's gonna be okay.
And the thing about passing is so hard. You could do everything right technically.
Yeah,
and the ball just bounces off your hand weird. Or it's just a really good serve. Like Rose Moore is going to pop a good serve at you every once in a while and you're going to mess it up.
Yeah.
And so like you could do everything technically right and not get the outcome or performance that you want.
Yeah. So it just like, it just helps me with my, like really rationalize my thoughts and just, everything's going to be okay.
So it gives you hope.
Yeah.
How about you?
In my first week here, I was like probably like the third day of small groups or something, and
it was fun.
You were like, Kaylie, you can make mistakes, and I was like, what? Like that was like so because I was focusing so hard on the process, but still getting so frustrated when the outcome didn't match it.
Yeah.
And we had just talked about this the other day that you can do absolutely everything right. You can be so focused on the process and you can do the task correctly and the outcome still might not go your way. But like, so you'll always say like, I like shanked a ball the other day and you were like, I love that move. I love that move.
And that was like so foreign for you, huh?
Yes. Yeah. It's new to me because I've never seen coaches that are so good at like saying that this is what we care about and like really that being the focus.
We're not always good at it sometimes.
You are pretty good at it. Yeah.
But like even, okay, I did everything right on my approach and set ended up somewhere else or, blockers were in a great spot. Or like you can do everything right and not have the right outcome or the outcome that you want. And so when you're so focused on the process, like Rose Moore can block me straight down and I'll be like, I'm so proud of my footwork there. Like I've been working
just
so
don't
hard
hit it
on
at
that.
Rose next time.
Right.
See her, don't hit it at her.
Right. But to be like so much more focused on the task and the process has helped me to realize that like there's so much that I can still get better at. Like even being at the end of my career, like there's so many things that I can still grow and get better at. And like, that's so cool to me. And that's so crazy that like, even at this level, even at this age, I can still get better. Like I don't just get a tap out.
And you're still getting better.
One thing I was going to add was, dang, I might lose my train of thought.
It's okay. It's only getting recorded.
I know. Maybe not. I lost my thought. I had it while you were talking, and then I forgot it.
Well, how does it?
When it comes back.
Well, how does learner mindset change things for you? Because I mean, they talked about that.
Oh yeah. Well, basically, I agree with everything you guys said. Just it takes the pressure off for me.
Yeah.
Like, just learn from it, especially in practice.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
practicing. That's what the thought was.
There we go.
Practicing.
I knew I could get you back.
Yeah. Practicing the mindset of a learner,
Mm-hmm.
your skills will like follow through.
And that's the
Like,
thing about
for
practice, right? Like so many people think, okay, we got to go to practice and I got to get better passing, setting, and hitting.
Yeah,
How much time do we spend just helping you guys stay in that learner mindset?
a ton.
A ton.
All your feedback is
Based on
Yeah.
that.
what are your tasks? What are you thinking about?
What's
Like
your
you'll hear that
purpose?
probably 70 times
Yeah.
in practice. And it just like whips you right back on track to think the right way. Like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a big second step here.
But we've seen how that like even helps us in practice. Like even when we
Like
maybe-
yesterday was a good example of
yeah,
that. Right?
like when we start maybe not performing as well as a team, going back to the learner's mindset, like we've been able to pull ourselves out of bad practices, like or practices that maybe started off rough. It doesn't have to
Performance-wise, yeah.
right. It doesn't have to end on like a bad note. Like we've seen as a team that we can turn any situation around when we go back to those
Yeah,
things.
So cool.
Our performance always increases when we're in our learner's mindset.
So weird how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Like I love all you guys, what you guys are saying. So as to end, I want to just have you guys give an opportunity to like share insights on how you guys the obstacles that are keeping you from being in that learner mindset. Like, and this is a chance for you to just share stories if you want, things that like you guys have realized, but like what is the thing that keeps you from just being a learner? Like,
Yeah.
that your obstacle, I guess.
I think for me, it's probably comparison.
Mm.
Like comparing where I'm at to like coming in as a freshman. Obviously, you're comparing yourself to
Older
the
kids.
upperclassmen, and you want to present yourself as an asset to the team, and getting really lost in those thoughts. And even now, as a senior, like comparing yourself to other people in the conference, or
Yeah.
comparing to your best performance you've ever had. Like, why can't I play like that all the time?
Yeah.
Just comparison in all aspects, I'd say, can kind of knock me off my train of thought of what I'm supposed to be thinking.
It's so
about.
hard, right?
It's so hard.
So hard. And when you don't compare yourself, do you feel comfortable in your
Yes,
own
I
skin?
feel so free. Like, I am who I am. I'm comfortable with it. I can grow being who I am. Like, I don't need to be the best person I've been in times past in order to grow. Like, I've accomplished that thing, and that's great, but I don't have to be that all the time. Like, there's
I'm going to
no
write this down because
pressure.
I love this. So,
Oh, wow.
sorry.
Okay, get a note in the notebook.
It's a big deal in my life
It is
right
a
there.
big deal.
How about you, Kaylie?
The biggest obstacle for me definitely has to be my expectations, like managing my expectations. When we have expectations and we don't meet those expectations, the like salient emotion is like frustration and then regret. Like I regret, like
And you love to
wasted
use the
time.
word should. You use
Yes.
that a lot.
Yes.
Like, you and I had that conversation. huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
like I should be this good. I should have it figured out. I'm like so old that I should know what's going on at this point.
Which doesn't work well when you're talking to this old man over here.
No, which I've learned. But it's been good for me because I never realized that was the mindset that had me trapped. Like I never realized that that was believing that I should be great and have like unrealistic expectations is the very thing keeping me from being good. And that for me has been the biggest thing. And it's something that I'm still working on very obviously. Like, and I'm just in the middle of this process. Like have you made it to the other side?
Nope.
So,
There is no other side.
Right.
You die. That's the other side.
Like learning to get comfortable with the idea that I will always be growing and I will always be chasing, the best version of myself is freeing in the fact that I'm never going to get there, but I can do everything in my power to try that and matching my expectations to that.
I had a coach tell me once, the joy is in the journey, not the destination, right? And I think what you're describing right there is a lot about, let's find joy in that journey of growth. I love that.
For sure. I think for me, self-doubt is always the thing that's like, oh, I stopped growing because maybe you just can't do it, you know?
Yeah,
so
you're
it's
done being good.
Yeah. Maybe you've reached what you can do and that's it, you know? So a fixed mindset, basically.
I'm as good as I will ever be.
Yeah. And like I think patience with myself, if I don't get it after 3 months, then like, again, maybe I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I think the biggest thing I've learned while being here is like everyone's on their own journey and everyone's like, some people are going to get it faster than me and that's okay. And when I like just focus on my journey and learning at my pace, then and allowing others to help me through it, then everything is good and I can be a learner. And I love what you were saying about expectations in reality. Like that is a lot of what goes through my brain too. Like when I just come to realize like this is me and I can be comfortable with me and that's okay, then I can learn I can learn what works for me.
I love it. So good. So good. That's where we're gonna end it. Sound good?
Cool.
You guys that was perfect. So thanks for taking the time to be with us. Another episode of Weber State in Depth, where you can see these kids are more than just volleyball players, that there's so much more, and they're powerful women and they have powerful stories. I hope the messages they shared with you help you. And until next time. See you later.
See you guys.
See ya.